As a Sigma male, you're all too familiar with the frustration of constantly dealing with people who just don't get you. Your unique way of thinking and approaching situations often leaves others perplexed. You march to the beat of your own drum and tend to keep to yourself. But while you might seem solitary, you're not lonely. You embrace your values and beliefs regardless of what others think or expect. Being a Sigma has its advantages, but there are also some uniquely annoying aspects. Here are 8 that only Sigma males can truly relate to. Number 1. You avoid being photographed. When someone pulls out a camera, your first instinct is to step out of the frame. You might find excuses to leave the room or position yourself behind others to stay unseen. In photos, you feel awkward and out of place, often standing stiffly or giving a forced smile. You feel more comfortable behind the camera, capturing real moments rather than being in front of it. As a Sigma male, you're naturally private and don't like drawing attention to yourself. You prefer living in the moment rather than stressing about looking perfect in a picture. The pressure to be Instagram ready seems pointless and fake to you. You value authenticity and genuine experiences over digital snapshots. Avoiding the spotlight extends to social media, where you don't feel the need to post every moment of your life. Your happiness comes from meaningful experiences and deep conversations, not from likes or shares. When you refuse to be in a photo, some might see you as aloof or shy, but you just value real-life interactions more. Genuine happiness and friendships don't need photographic evidence. Number 2. Feeling drained by people who always need attention. Being around individuals who constantly seek attention can be incredibly draining, especially for Sigma males who prefer to stay in the background. These attention seekers are often the ones who need to be the center of every conversation, seeking validation and constantly trying to draw the spotlight onto themselves. Whether it's through loud, dramatic behavior, incessant fishing for compliments, or a never-ending need for feedback, their constant demand for attention can be overwhelming. Sigma males who value introspection and genuine connections find it exhausting to interact with people who need constant affirmation. The energy and time required to meet their demands can feel like a one-sided relationship, where you are giving but not receiving much in return. This imbalance can drain your emotional resources, leaving you feeling weary and longing for peace and quiet. In social or professional settings, dealing with attention seekers can be even more taxing. Their need to dominate conversations or insist on being involved in every discussion can disrupt the flow and make it hard to focus on meaningful interactions. The constant need for attention can also highlight your own preference for depth and authenticity, making you more appreciative of moments and relationships where mutual respect and understanding prevail. Ultimately, being surrounded by attention seekers can make Sigma males crave solitude even more, as it's in quiet and undisturbed environments that you can recharge and regain your sense of balance. Number 3. You made a clear point, but everyone is confused. It's incredibly frustrating to articulate a clear and well-thought-out point only to be met with confusion and puzzled looks. Sigma males often take pride in their ability to think deeply and communicate ideas clearly. However, when others fail to understand, it can feel like a major disconnect. You've carefully considered your words, aimed to explain complex ideas in simple terms, but it seems that no matter how straightforward you try to be, your message just doesn't land. This misalignment can lead to awkward silences and repeated explanations that make you question whether your point was too complicated or if your audience wasn't fully engaged. You might find yourself simplifying your language further, trying different approaches, or even feeling frustrated as you repeatedly clarify your thoughts. The process of explaining something multiple times not only tests your patience but also makes you wonder if you're speaking the same language as your listeners. The recurring confusion can make Sigma males feel disconnected and even discouraged from sharing their insights in the future. When your clear and logical points are met with misunderstanding, it can feel like a waste of effort and energy. This experience often leads you to be more reserved in group settings, preferring to keep your thoughts to yourself rather than facing the potential frustration of further miscommunication. Number 4. Being interrupted while trying to explain something in detail. Have you ever been in the middle of explaining something important, only to be interrupted? It's one of the most annoying things, especially for a Sigma male. You put effort into making your point clear and simple, but suddenly someone cuts you off, making you feel disrespected. Being interrupted throws you off balance, derailing your train of thought. You value meaningful conversations and explaining things in detail, so interruptions feel like a slap in the face. You communicate to share knowledge or solve problems, not just to hear your own voice. Interruptions make it hard to regain your flow, leaving you feeling defeated and unheard. You might avoid group settings to escape this frustration, which can make you seem reserved or disinterested. Number 5. When people don't know if you're joking or serious. Sigma males have a unique sense of humor that often leaves others confused. Your jokes are subtle, dry, and clever, finding humor in the mundane and unexpected. To outsiders, your humor can sound serious, leading to awkward moments where people aren't sure if they should laugh. You don't use loud or exaggerated ways of joking. Your humor is understated and sometimes sarcastic. This often leads to puzzled looks and silence as people miss the joke's subtlety. When someone does get your humor, it's a small victory, showing they understand your wavelength. You use well-crafted jokes that make people think and laugh simultaneously. This acts as a filter, as those who get your humor are likely intelligent and witty. When people don't get it, you navigate the awkwardness and might feel like you need to explain the joke, which takes away the fun and spontaneity. Number 6. Feeling like you need a vacation. After a vacation with the wrong people. You just got back from a vacation with some friends, and instead of feeling refreshed, you feel more exhausted than before you left. For Sigma males who value their personal space and time, this can be especially draining. The trip was supposed to be a break from everyday stresses, but it turned into a series of compromises and high-energy activities that didn't resonate with you. Your friends might have had different ideas of fun, like packed schedules and constant socializing, leaving you with little opportunity for the relaxation and quiet reflection you crave. Instead of enjoying leisurely strolls or peaceful moments to recharge, you were thrust into a whirlwind of activities that often felt more like a chore than a pleasure. Whether it was trying to keep up with a fast-paced itinerary or engaging in group activities that you had little interest in, the trip ended up feeling more like a test of endurance. You found yourself constantly adapting to others' preferences, and as a result, your own need for downtime and solitude was ignored. The contrast between your expectations and the reality of the trip becomes glaringly obvious when you return home. Instead of feeling rejuvenated, you feel drained and in desperate need of another break just to recover from the first one. The lack of personal space and constant compromise during the trip can leave you feeling mentally and emotionally exhausted, as if you've been running on empty. This experience often prompts Sigma males to be more selective about their travel companions and trip planning, ensuring that future vacations align better with their need for balance and relaxation. Number 7. The urge to leave as soon as you arrive somewhere. Do you ever walk into a social event and within seconds feel the urge to leave? Every Sigma male knows this feeling. You scan the room, realize it's not your kind of place, and feel like every minute spent there is a minute wasted. The loud chatter, superficial conversations, and people trying too hard to fit in make you feel trapped. You'd rather be somewhere meaningful. Glancing at the clock, you wonder how long you need to stay before it's acceptable to leave. The room full of people having a great time only amplifies your sense of entrapment. You crave depth and meaningful interactions, which these gatherings rarely provide. Internally, you count down the seconds until you can gracefully make your exit, planning excuses in your head. It's not about disliking people. It's about feeling like your precious time is slipping away. Once you leave, there's an instant sense of relief, even if you feel a bit guilty for not staying longer. Deep down, you know it was the right decision. Number 8. People constantly asking if you are okay. Sigma males are typically very reserved, which makes it challenging for others to gauge their emotions. This often results in people frequently asking if they're okay, even when they're feeling perfectly fine. They sense that others constantly question their emotional state, which can be quite frustrating. It would be great if people could simply believe them when they say they're okay, but that's often not the case. Handling this persistent questioning can be quite irritating for Sigma males, even though they recognize that people are just trying to be considerate. Sigmas are often told to smile more, even when they're content with their current expression. People wrongly assume they're sad when, in reality, they're just lost in thought.